What is going down, everyone? Happy March 2025. This is The Hype, Mojobreak.com and MojobreakShop.com. We've got a lot to talk about. We got the Cheetozard that sold for an unbelievable amount. I don't even know if we're in real life or we're in a simulation, but we're going to talk about that today and how this even came to be. There's also the guy with the Wemby jersey, new update. I'm sure you guys have heard, but he doesn't want to sell it now after it's sold. Wasn't happy with it, so we'll discuss that. We've got a lot of new releases. We got some WWE 101 Tops Now stuff to talk about. PSA's got some new technology. There's a lot going on, guys. I mean, you guys said you guys watched the Oscars. I think I slept through it. There's also a lot of stuff going on in the world. But you guys, fan of the Oscars? What was the highlight of the Oscars?
Oh well, I haven't seen the movie, but I think it was Anora.
Anora was the big winner of the night. Kind of a shocker, honestly.
That's the one you and Demir's was talking about, right?
Jason Demir's on the show talked about
I think it definitely has a rated R.
It's a hard R.
Yeah, hard R.
It is a hard rated R. And very good movie. I did end up watching it. It's a very good movie.
But don't have the kids around.
Definitely don't have the kids.
Okay.
Don't watch it with your parents. Don't watch it with your in-laws. Just watch it. Just even
on the subway, probably.
You know what they were doing?
It's not an airplane movie.
You know what they were doing?
It's a very good movie.
They were talking about this a lot, and we've talked about it on the show before. They were really, really hyping up the movie theater experience.
Look. It's still the best.
We've talked about it before. It's just streaming is so easy now.
It is.
I don't have to leave. I don't have to go get parking.
The popcorn's so much better at the movie theater,
so
though, dude.
better.
You can't replicate it at home.
It's hard.
I don't know how. I don't know if that is enough to get me over the hump and out to the movie theater just for popcorn.
There's still, to me, nothing like opening weekend of a new movie or whatever
Crowds.
it is. And I like it. It's
You
fun.
like crowds?
In this case, I like being in a packed theater on opening night and everybody's feeding off the energy. Like, it's cool. I think that's fun.
Now, my question to you guys is have you been to a packed theater since the pandemic? Because I haven't. I've been to a theater a couple times.
I haven't
Plenty
been to a movie theater for 6 years.
Well, now
I may never go back.
Wow.
The great thing is you don't have to wait in line because you buy your seat. You can go in.
True.
What we do now is I make sure I arrive about 20 minutes after the movie starts, the time.
After it starts?
No, because that's where the commercials.
I know what you mean.
You know what I'm saying?
The scheduled time now is if you have a movie that starts at 6 p.m., your movie really starts at 6:20.
So you just come walking in during the previews.
Yes.
What about everybody who wants to see the previews?
I'm that guy. I like I love watching
Well,
the trailers.
you're the one who's pissed off at Doug coming in. You're like, dude, get out of the way. I'm trying to watch the previews.
I'm not that late. We usually get there right when it starts. But before you'd be like, okay, the movie starts at 6. We got to get there like 5:15. You know what I mean? Get your popcorn and everything.
Get a good
and then
seat.
you're sitting at 5:30, and the movie starts at 6, and then the movie actually physically starts at 6:30. It's just a lot of wasted time. So I make sure I'm getting there like 6:05. Right when it starts. That's why I'm sitting down.
Yeah. So the magic of the movies. There's nothing beats.
I think they lost me. I think that the whole Oscars, I felt like they were talking directly to me.
Like, go
They're
back
all,
to the movies.
Why are you doing? Go to the movies. And I'm all, I don't want to.
Look,
stop telling me what to do.
Here's the big thing, and it's also like people only go out to the movies, and sometimes I'm like, I'm victim of this. Like, you go out to the movies for like the big movies, the big event movies, which nowadays are like big franchises and stuff, the Marvels and
I'm not a Marvel guy, so like. Give me a reason to go out.
Well, give your kid about another 2 or 3 years. You'll start hitting all those Disney movies.
I always say
on weekend.
There is still an audience for like the movie that's like a mid-budget thing that like there used to be times where it's like, oh, there's like 7 options here that are for like 5 to 6 different audiences. It's not just all Marvel and big tentpole releases and stuff. It was like, here's an action, here's a comedy, here's a romantic comedy, here's an action movie, here's a horror movie, and they were all like smaller. And
I feel the comedies don't
back a little.
Comedies don't get enough love.
Not anymore.
There hasn't been a good comedy in a while. I can't even think of one.
None that are theatrically released anymore. Absolutely none. And I don't get it.
It's
All
like
Texas
maybe
is
Judd Apatow is like
maybe
stop
that's
making
why
movies.
maybe that's why they lost me.
Yeah.
Because I like myself some comedies
It's
and
those little. We need to get back to that. That's something Hollywood needs to work on.
and plus
we need
like
to get back to that.
how much is it to go out to the? How much is a movie ticket these days?
It's
Like
about $17.
Oh yeah.
It could be up to 25 if you're like in an IMAX.
I do the little. They have like a monthly. Like a lot of the theaters now have like a monthly
Stubs.
membership you can get. I do like the Cinemark one. It's like $10 a month, but I get a free movie ticket every month. I mean, I guess I'm
No,
paying
you don't.
I'm paying $10 for a movie ticket, but otherwise I'd be paying what $17, $18.
so you get a discounted ticket.
I get a discounted ticket, plus I get discounts for food. I get like other
First
perks.
in line.
I get rewards and all
I
that
know,
stuff.
I hate that. I had to sign up for that. So AMC, because I'm close to AMC, they have like 2 lines. So when you're getting popcorn, they have 2 lines. They have the Gen Pop, the Gen Pop line, and then they have the Premier line, right? So that they'll take all the Premier people first. You'll just be sitting there, and they'll be like, next Premier, next Premier, next Premier.
Oh, so it's
next
like a
Premier.
so they're going straight up fast pass here,
Basically.
like to evoke some
For popcorn?
Disneyland or theme park.
For any food,
that
actually.
seems a little.
Yeah.
Now that's a bit much. Yeah, I AMC. No, I can't do that. I get some preferential treatment, but no, come on.
Then you get the large popcorn, and then you always get a free refill, right? So what you do is you get the little extra trays, and then you go in, you fill all those up for your kids. Then you go out and get a free one, so you get one free refill. Yeah.
No, it's not free. It's baked into the cost.
It's baked in. Well, let's face it. For a $12 popcorn, their cost is probably 50 cents.
Yeah. So basically, you're essentially getting a $6 bucket of popcorn.
but at least you got to at least take advantage of that to feel like you got your money's worth.
Oh, you
But-
could just could you take a bucket to go? Say
You
so
can
you're
actually.
like, I'm
You
getting ready
actually
to
can.
leave. You're all, fill me up. I'm leaving.
I actually saw this one day on DoorDash. They had Cinemark popcorn.
Yeah.
On DoorDash.
Yep. Or you can buy like a bag of it for a discount, like a bag to take home.
But you can't bring it back with you.
Yeah, you can.
There is a reusable thing, yeah. And now the whole popcorn buckets have become its own economy and a whole collectible market.
You can't. You're not. I mean, you can do whatever you want, but you're not allowed to bring your own popcorn into the theater.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Oh,
well,
no.
You could get away with it though.
I mean, you can't. I mean, you're not gonna. They're not gonna arrest you.
Back
I
in the
think
day
you're gonna be fine.
when I was watching a lot more movies and had a lot less responsibilities, and I was watching like midday on a Wednesday, there would be the food court right below at the mall, and I think I'd grab like a Carl's Jr. burger, sneak it in my jacket pocket, and then go up and snack on a Western bacon cheeseburger.
You get the wife to bring the big purse. You put the candy and then maybe the drinks in there, and then all you got to do is buy the popcorn.
Yeah.
But I hope the fine folks at AMC aren't listening to me because I don't actually
I don't
that.
do this. No,
I'm more of a-
I have not eaten a Western bacon cheeseburger at a movie theater in
dreamed
at
of it.
least 5 years.
I'm more of a drive-in movie theater.
I do
guy.
love a drive-in. I do love the drive-in.
That used to be a lot of fun.
That's
It
the best.
still is. I still got it. It's fun. It's a good time.
Yeah, I don't do that either. But you,
movies. We love it.
Speaking of
Hooray for Hollywood.
comedy, let's get into that Cheetozard because it's something. I had to wipe my eyes when I saw the price. I mean, we were talking about this last week, and
a good deal.
I believe it was at $6,000.
Good deal.
It ended at $87,000.
Steal.
$87,000.
Somebody got to steal.
And nobody even has an origin story. Like there wasn't. But the funny thing is in this industry is that we're like, well, there's no video of this being pulled. Like there's literally no video. Somebody could have made this. Somebody could have got the ingredients and made this, and now it's sold for $87,000.
It's a good thing the right person got it, because if somebody who's not a Pokemon fan would have just shoved that right in their mouth and just ate an $86,000 Cheeto.
But do we even know if this actually came out of a Cheeto bag?
How do you go about making homemade Flaming Hot Cheetos anyway?
I'm sure you could find the
I think,
ingredients.
I think you could. There used to be some YouTube series
There's
where they
not.
would do that, but I mean,
No
it's
way to
hard
go
'cause
out
there's
and
so much
acquire- how do you-
processed stuff.
Hey, you go out and acquire Red 40 on the open market.
Right, exactly. God, I don't even know what to make of this, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, props to
Beyond
Golden.
words.
I mean, when this is almost like one of those memes where you're like, I could sell, ketchup to a guy with white popsicles. I could sell ice to Eskimos. I could sell oil to Tesla owners. That's what the hell this happened right here with this $87,000. This should be like Golden's marketing plan. Anytime you're trying to think about selling something, you're like, well, we sold a Cheeto for $87,000. One single Cheeto.
The only
you know who wouldn't agree with you? The person who was selling the Wemby jersey.
Yeah, yeah, which we'll get into that.
The only thing that you can explain is the marketing machine. You're right. The only people I'm going to say bravo to in a way is Golden for being like, hey, the marketing machine went into overdrive. And I think a big reason why it went this way, we're talking about it 2 straight weeks on this podcast. Everybody's writing articles about it everywhere. It's because they pushed this thing as much as they did. Other than that, I don't think there's anything good to take away from this. This is a bad sign.
Well, there's a coin too. So I mean, pardon my French,
right.
but I think that was a big reason why it started to go for $87,000 because Solana opened up with a Cheetozard meme coin. So there's a community of people buying Cheetozard meme coins now. So maybe that has something to do with it, and then Golden just got lucky that it did this. My other question is, does this not have like, we were talking about comedy movies, to circle this back around, does this not have like a Dumb and Dumber, like that Lloyd's going to eat this off somebody's shelf like in the future?
This is
going to happen, right?
100% there are writers in Hollywood, to go back to the Oscars and everything. There's writers in Hollywood right now who saw this go past their news, their the newspapers, their news apps or whatever, and went, that's an idea for a movie right there.
They don't make movies like, remember all the spoof movies in like the early
Scary
2000s,
movie,
like
yes.
Scary movie,
not,
and then
not another teen movie.
Yes.
This would have been perfect for that.
Yes.
100% they would have thrown that in there.
Yeah, couldn't you just you could totally imagine the guy on the couch hitting the bong and be like, "Hey, bro, I was really hungry and all I found was that one Cheeto you had and I ate it and it tastes like
yeah.
It tastes like crap." And what? You ate my $87,000 Cheetozard? Like what? Like, for one, it's probably stale.
It's probably disgusting.
It's probably disgusting. But
I did see. I had to throw this out. I now know way more about expensive food than I ever thought I would. First of all, I saw this from Collect.com. Cheetozard has outsold every shadowless PSA 9 Charizard so far this year, and of course the shadowless version is the one that you want because that's the one that was the first print run. Before the second print run, they added the shadow behind the border of the picture. So yeah, do you want?
There's only
one of the most rare.
There's only one Cheetozard.
I guess
though.
there's only one Cheetozard, and there's a lot more shadowless PSA 9 Charizards. But I'm gonna take a guess that in 10 years' time, those PSA 9 shadowless Charizards are going to be a little bit of a better investment than the Cheetozard. Or maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm an idiot, and our entire economy is run on Cheetos that are shaped like different cartoons and video game characters. I don't know.
I like it.
I mean, is there a way that this thing is actually going to make it through 50 years? Is it not to start to disintegrate and turn it into dust at some point? If it's,
who brought up Shane actually brought something up today. We were talking about this, and he said, "This reminds me." I know.
Cut the show.
I know, right? End it. Wrap
End
it
up.
it. Reminiscent to remember when Hostess was going out of business,
the
and
Twinkie.
people were buying Twinkies. Like there was a box of Twinkies that went for like $30,000, $40,000 or something on eBay. I don't know if anyone ever bought it, actually paid it, but. So this is not anything totally new. There's some other unique food sales. Piece of toast that looked like the Virgin Mary. That was a very famous one from 2004. Sold for $28,000. So the Cheetos are beating it by a lot, maybe even when you account for inflation. A bottle of rum that dated back to 1780 sold for $30,000 just a year ago or 2 years ago.
I'd feel that would be more.
That should be worth a lot more. Especially if alcohol, usually alcohol, because I saw there was like a whiskey bottle that sold for like $4 million.
Yeah, I mean, there's like
happens.
Wine and stuff like that goes for ridiculous amounts of money.
A cracker from an emergency boat from the Titanic that was taken out of the emergency kit had not been eaten, sold for $23,000.
a cracker?
A cracker. But it was part of the emergency kit from one of the emergency boats.
Was it Uncle Cracker?
Was not Uncle Cracker. And a slice of
Let's say it was like a saltine.
It was a little saltine.
A little saltine cracker.
A slice of cake. Now, see, this one at least, like the Titanic one, I'm not going to buy a cracker for $23,000, but at least there's like historical value there. And a slice of cake from King Charles and Princess Diana's wedding cake sold for $2,565. again, those are connected to historic moments. This
How
is
do you
just a Cheeto
prove-
somebody
Okay,
found.
well, how do you prove both the wedding cake? I guess there'd be pictures of it,
Yes.
but there's not going to be pictures of the Titanic
No.
cracker.
Now that though, at least I feel like the paper trail's maybe a little easier to do than
They do inventory.
guy-
There's an inventory log on
mean,
saltine
look.
crackers.
the Titanic is one of the most like discussed, one of the most dissected pieces of history of the last 150 years. So that is one where I'm like, I believe that they found that. That doesn't seem that out of the ordinary. Where again, whereas
How many
there's
people
no paper
people died on the Titanic?
Oh God, I don't know. Off the top
A lot
my
of
head.
wealthy people.
A lot of wealthy people did. Yeah.
The conspiracy is that there was a lot of bankers that were on that one, except for J.P. Morgan, who did not get on the boat.
You know who shouldn't have died?
The J.P. Morgan?
Yeah.
You know who shouldn't have? It's Jack.
Yeah.
There was,
He tried.
there was room. There was room. There was room on that piece of wood.
There was.
There was. Yeah.
Well, are they? I think we've also talked about this. And speaking of movies and big movies, they're gonna remake the Titanic.
No, they won't.
No, you're.
No, they're
you're-
not going to.
Are you sure?
That's an untouchable one. For
I
me.
think we're in that era where they're going to
they're going to
remake.
talk about it.
They're gonna remake the Titanic.
They're going to try.
They're gonna remake it.
There's a Cheetozard X account now, and they're gonna. Yeah, it's a phenomenon. Shirts are probably gonna be made.
I didn't even think about the crypto part of all of this. You're right that's probably what elevated it. But I guess my other question, and I don't know, maybe I'm too stupid to know this stuff, but like, doesn't that defeat the whole purpose of crypto? Like, this is a tangible thing. Like, I don't get it. Like, I genuinely, I'm asking. I do not get any of this. It kind of drives me bonkers. It makes me a little sad and angry at the same time. I don't know what to make of it.
Yeah, I don't either. You know how many great cards you could buy for $87,000?
A lot of good
You
stuff.
can only buy one Cheetozard.
That's true.
Until the next
I
one's
mean,
pulled.
Hard. I mean, there won't be another one pulled. There'll be maybe one that looks like it.
There will be.
I would love to hear the backstory from the fine folks. Was it Frito-Lay?
Frito-Lay would be the
Frito-Lay?
place. What was the final price of that thing? $86,000. $840.
change.
Good Lord.
But was there like somebody was like a Pokemon fan that's like, I'm gonna make this one? Like, was it just an accident?
I think it was an.
I think there's a room for a documentary here on this Cheetozard, like a full-fledged documentary, The Legend of Cheetozard.
The Legend of Cheetozard we need to see it. We need to see it happen. How about would you rather have Cheetozard or a 2005 PSA 10 SP Game Used Fabrics LeBron James Michael Jordan patch auto numbered to 50, which sold for $90,000, only a little, it's about $3,000 more than what old Cheetozard was sold for.
Well, I mean, the Jordan and LeBron's not quite as exciting, but I think I'd rather have it. You know.
No.
I mean, where do you display this Cheetozard at your house?
You could have a 1933 Gaudy baseball near complete set with all 4 Babe Ruths and 2 Gehrigs for $90,000. You could have that or the Cheetozard.
Maybe the Cheetozard gets the ladies, though. You know what I mean? Like, it's a guy who's
the
just...
Cheetozard paid for.
That's the other thing. Was it actually paid for? By the way, a Joe Burrow Immaculate Shield Auto rookie 1 of 1. $88,450 on January 31st. And again, $87,840 for old Cheetozard. Look, you can do whatever you want with your money. Oh, that's funny. Wait a minute. Are we uncovering something right now? When did that auction end? Okay, February 22nd. Because on February 22nd, I'm looking on Card Ladder right now. 2000 playoff contenders rookie ticket auto of Tom Brady, SGC 10, sold for the exact same price as the Cheetozard, also on gold.
Exact $87,840.
Yep, exact same price.
Well, that's weird.
Exactly the same. Weird coincidence?
Weird.
Very, very odd. Or is there somebody who was like trying to make a point?
I don't know. I think we should
about
listen to
Cheetozard.
the Beatles record backwards. Maybe
Yeah.
they'll give us the answer. You know, all the subliminals. But yeah, I didn't think that episode, this late into getting close to 400, that we'd be talking about chips twice in a podcast. But here we are. I think we're proud of ourselves to talk about a Cheeto.
We've
in 2 episodes.
We've done it. Chip talk twice in a row.
We do like to talk about food here.
Yeah, we do.
talk a lot
Not stale
about
food
food.
usually, though. Usually food that tastes good, not ones that are stale and worth almost $100,000.
Should be a podcast about food.
Yeah. Well, how about the kid, the 5-year-old? He was really emotionally attached to that Wembanyama jersey, especially emotionally attached after Wembanyama announced he had a blood clot. Really attached to the fact that the father had to call Golden and say, let's we had a change of heart just right after the blood clot got announced. So
After the auction ended.
after the auction ended.
Father of the year. That's it.
It's got to, got to make sure that son.
I have a feeling that, obviously, the press that this jersey was getting going to Golden, at some point in this transaction, I think there was numbers that were hypothetical numbers that were thrown around, and this parent heard those numbers and just took it to the bank and was like, I already spent it. This,
But if he
100,
already
120,
spent it,
150, but in
if
his
he already spent it, he would recop his money.
It already spent it in his mind. He mentally already spent it. Like, I am going to buy that. I'm going to buy this. I'm going to buy this. We're going to do that. We're going to go on this vacation. We're going to do that. Oh, wait. That is half of what I thought I was going to get.
To catch people up listening that are like, what are you guys talking about? So there was a game last year, or this year, actually. So Wemby's second year in the league. Not a rookie game. Not a game he did anything monumentally in. I think he had a couple blocks like he always does. I want to say he scored around maybe like 20 points. There was like a 5-year-old holding a little mini jersey, not mini to him, but the size of said 5-year-old. And he was around courtside, and he was like, Wemby, could you swap my jersey with yours? And Wemby did it. They took a picture of Wemby holding the small jersey, the kid holding the big jersey. It was a very good, wholesome moment. You're like, yeah, that's awesome. Wemby's great. 2 days later, it's on Golden. It's being auctioned. So Wemby put a meme of him crying at the news, kind of like, this is a bummer. This is being sold. Goes on 30-day auction. 2 days before it ends, Wembanyama is out for the season with a blood clot. And now the father is saying that his son, who's 5 years old, had a change of heart, and he wants to stop the sale of this jersey. And according to Golden, it was already shipped out to the new buyer. And now we've got a court case. And all signs point to the buyer's remorse of this father.
Seller's remorse.
Seller's remorse, yes. Seller's remorse to feel that this guy could have gotten more for this jersey hadn't the news happened. Well, Golden did not tell Wembanyama to have a blood clot. It was a circumstance that was out of anybody's control. You can't renege on a deal. You can't renege on a contract. And also, come to find out, he contacted Golden. So it wasn't like Golden poached him and was like, you really need to sell this. Let's make this happen. He contacted Golden. He signed the contract. Golden can't let this happen because then we could all start doing this.
Yeah, it's actually insane. At the end of the day, $73,000 regular season game used.
Mm-hmm.
It's about, I would say, about market, maybe even a little
above.
north
Yeah, I would
of what market was.
Considering all of the negativity surrounding it in the midst of this auction,
I think the negativity and all I think it kind of was a wash.
Yeah.
I think the story got a lot of eyeballs on it, and then the negative pushback basically washed that away. So, like, at this point, it was a game-used Wemby second year, game-used jersey, sold for a little north of $70K, which I think is probably a little bit higher than it probably should have gone for. Now, if it was a rookie season, if it was a debut game, like rookie game, if it was like playoff game, finals game,
broke a record.
Yeah, like a record-breaking game, a substantial once-in-a-lifetime stat line game, then yeah, you could.
Like Steph with the,
the 56 points.
game,
Yeah, that would probably go north of what a standard game used jersey would go for. And again, like I think this Wemby actually did go. Now, this parent may have had some outside noise coming in saying, well, this jersey, based on the press, is worth X amount. 150, 200, who knows? It ends at 70, and he's like, I got slighted. And he probably was real quick to being like, well, it's because of the injury. The injury came out, the auction ended.
Tough luck, though.
Tough luck, but at the end of the day, all you have to do is go back and go, there has to be comps on game-used jerseys. Maybe not Wemby, but somebody at that tier of basketball player as Wemby. How much did that jersey go for? It has to be out there. Like if you were to go second-year Giannis jersey,
Right.
how much would that sell for?
Right.
What did that go for?
Sure, you can find some.
Sure, you could find some, right? I don't know if that jersey went for over $50K.
But the thing about it is the guy got the jersey for free. He's $73,000 in the positive. It's not like he paid $100,000 and he's like, whoa. I'm getting 73 now? Like, no, I don't want to sell this. You promised me blah, blah, blah. We don't know what was promised to him. We don't know what conversations were had. At the end of the day, he used his son to get a jersey, and then he was going to sell it, and now he's saying that his son is emotionally attached. My youngest right now is 7. She doesn't really understand the value of $100 to $100,000. She's not going to understand that. All I can know is if she has an item that's worth $73,000, I could probably be like, hey, you want to go to Disneyland next week, or do you want the jersey? And she'd be like, let's go to Disneyland. That's a lot more fun than staring at a jersey. This kid, maybe give him a PlayStation or something. Like, hey, we'll give you. I'm sure he'll forget about the jersey.
The thing is that the parent was grasping at straws and like, what can I do what angle can I play for this to work out potentially in my favor? If he comes out and says, honestly, I thought the jersey was going to sell for double the amount that it sold for, I would like to back out. Well, that isn't going to work.
Yeah.
Think he knows what the end result's going to be on there. But if you go, my kid, are you going to upset my kid? The kid who is in the picture with Wemby, are you going to upset him? You don't want to do that now. Maybe he's like, that angle might work. That's the only way that I can think of the thought process.
There is some.
You honestly, you can't make this up, because we were having this conversation, about a month ago about this jersey, and we had a lot to talk about regarding how it went down and how it looks. And you can't make it up that now the same parents like, I want to back out of this closed auction.
They are the legal grounds they're standing on. I'm reading here in the write up about it. The father claimed the contract he signed with Golden will be nullified because he did not know it is illegal for any payments made for a child's property to be sold for more than $50,000 without a court-appointed guardian. Whether the property was his or his son's could be material to that claim. That comes from collect.com on their write-up about it.
It's their social media post that proves exactly what happened.
Your kid was holding the sign.
Yeah.
He then got the jersey. We all saw it.
And he is the guardian.
Right. You're his father.
Yeah.
So it seems like there's so much regret that there's the injury, do I now look like a terrible father or all that? I think that's the biggest is that I'm going to try to win this back.
You look like a terrible parent.
Right.
Initially.
Yeah.
It didn't change.
It's worse
You
now.
just doubled down.
Yeah.
You're just like.
Seems like everything is not well thought out. Maybe not the smartest, brightest bulb in the room here.
If anything, you just look at it and you're like, well, $73K or whatever it sold for.
You won.
Is better than 0.
You won. Don't get greedy.
I mean, let's just say hypothetically, like this does get reversed and this guy gets his son's jersey back and they have it.
I hope not.
How I hope not either. For many reasons.
It would set a terrible precedent.
It would set a terrible precedent. But like, how does this look if he's like, okay, next year Wemby's in the finals, and it's like, all right, let's go back and put it up there now. You know that's going to happen.
You better believe this jersey. This is not the last auction. If he gets the jersey back, this will not be the last auction house that this jersey goes to.
Yeah, he probably won't go back to Golden. But,
no.
I mean, Fanatics Collect or Heritage or
if indeed, and it'd be pretty. I think we'd all be pretty surprised if he got this jersey back. But if he does, if he's going to fight and take these guys to court, I just wonder what the precedent that sets for these auction houses, what they do for, are there going to be, what do they put in their contracts to avoid this sort of thing?
Why doesn't he just buy the jersey back?
There's that. Yeah, he could just do that.
With the amount of money that
who knows? Whoever bought it probably doesn't want to sell it. They probably figure, if you are thinking that, okay, you're buying low on Wemby, maybe this guy feels like he did buy low on Wemby because of the news, and maybe he's thinking he's going to make a profit on it in 2 or 3 years, which is perfectly fine because that's why he bought it. I don't think they're going to allow him to buy this back. I mean, that's better for all parties involved.
What if it's a private sale between the person who purchased it? What if they're like, yeah, I'll go ahead and I'll sell it back to you. Or there's going to be another game-used Wemby jersey out on the market at some point, maybe sold by Golden. You can take your $76,000 and maybe you can get one that's $40,000 or $50,000.
And shout out to Paul Lesko. He has the court report 4 days ago on his his Twitter feed, and Golden alleges the contract to auction the jersey is valid, binding, and plaintiff proceeded as if he wanted the auction to go forward until 22 days into the 30-day auction when he expressed seller's remorse when it looked like the jersey might not eclipse $50,000 at that point. So he was already kind of those guys. I mean, we know, we've been around it. Most of the action happens last day, a couple hours before.
Yep.
We did a little bit of consigning back in the day, and we'd get those emails and be like, hey, there's only 8 hours left, and this card's supposed to be a $500 card, and it's at $50. Like, I'm kind of scared now, guys. Like, obviously he's doing all those same things, but then it's like, blood clot. I got an out. I got an out.
Yeah, because it sounds like he wanted to cancel. But also, if he had a price in mind, now I know Golden doesn't like doing this, but it's definitely got to be an option to have a reserve price. You're going to steer people away. People are not going to want to bid on it if they're like, it has a reserve on it. But if this was a true concern on making sure you're going to get X amount of dollars, they should have basically said, I will do this, but I need a reserve of $120,000 on it.
Yeah. And it probably wouldn't have sold for that.
It wouldn't have sold for that.
Yep, poor guy in his free jersey that he got a free $73,000.
No,
poor guy.
Well, he had to pay for the replica, like the small jersey, so he's not like completely.
His cost was like $100.
I was gonna say. Actually, less. Those kid-sized jerseys are like considerably cheap.
Before you start running around and saying that he's not out any money.
Yeah. He's out $65.
He's out about $79 plus tax, maybe shipping.
Are we going to see a court case against Wembanyama that returned that jersey too? Actually, I'm pretty sure he didn't even take it.
Now that's what they should do. Golden should get in contact with Wemby. Can you give us the little jersey and hope that sells for even more?
I mean, we are in a weird
and it goes to charity to buy a bunch of kids' jerseys or something.
We're in a weird and wacky time right now that I could actually see the smaller jersey from Wemby to Golden would sell for more, and it would the parent would like lose his crap.
I'm almost 90% positive that Wemby probably gave the jersey back after the picture.
Yeah,
I mean, because what's he gonna do with that thing?
Wear it?
Right.
Put it on his face?
Wear it?
Just literally?
Just a crop top.
Yep.
That'd be something.
Use it as like a sham wow or something.
But this also sucks. And I'm not one. I mean, I've been in this industry. I'm not one to like autograph hound or do any of that kind of stuff. But this does also set a precedent of like, athletes are going to be less likely to do this when they see somebody trying to profit off of them, because Wemby gets paid to sign. Wemby gets paid to give his jerseys up. He thought in the back of his mind that this kid really wanted his jersey and it wasn't going to be a transaction. Well, it turned out to be a transaction.
He thought he was doing something that was thoughtful and had great optics for his brand. And then a couple days later, this person's just trying to profit off of it. It's if I'm Wemby, I look at that and go, I'm done.
Yep.
I'm done with this. I tried to do the right thing. I tried to be a nice guy, and I basically get exploited.
Yeah, it's a bummer in a time where I feel like when it comes to cards and collectibles, athletes are more open than ever to this stuff. They like it more. They're going to more events and stuff. So for this fan interaction to happen, it does take it.
It ruins it for the kids, man.
Ruins it for all the kids. That's what it's all about.
Ruins it for all the other kids.
That's what it's all about.
This could have been a great story, and it could have started something in the league where other players were going to start doing this. Because let's face it, it's good for the league. It's good for the kids. It's good optics for the player. It's good marketing. There's a lot of positives that come into play here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
This transaction kind of ruined it.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it's a bummer.
Moving on, did you guys see the new PSA scanning feature on the app? I had to update my app. I've been, scrolling every day and be like, is my order ready? And then I'm like, oh, new app. So, it scans and tells you the pop report if it's graded. It tells you approximate price. Very cool, as you can see here on the slide. Just another nice element, and it seems to be one of the smoother technologies for that process. I know Card Ladder has it, some other ones have it as well, but to have it right built into your PSA app where you could have your stuff in the vault, where you could be waiting for orders, or you're even thinking about submitting a card, you can get an idea of what the last one sold for. So very cool, and it's quick too. So I got to give props to PSA on pushing newer technology for that kind of stuff.
And I believe it's Card Ladder is also providing a lot of all the data that you're seeing on there. So they're integrating it all, and it looks really slick from the demonstrations I was watching. Looks nice. It's definitely something I think a lot of collectors are gonna. All the reactions too, which is something that was great to see. Everyone was positive, wow, great, this looks like an awesome feature, can't wait to use it. So looks like a big thumbs up so far. We'll see.
So far, yeah.
Sick.
And Topps is releasing the Tokyo Series World Tour box. I believe the set version will be available through complex.com, which I didn't see that they had any parallels. I think you just get the set. The one that has autos and numbered cards, I believe, are only going to be sold in Tokyo.
Yeah, well, so these are going to be, this set will be available online, but there's also a chase there's dual auto chances of Ichiro and Otani and other Japanese stars. The big chase is the 1-of-1 Otani and the artist whose name is escaping me right now. It's one of those sets I looked at and I went, look.
Murakami.
Yes, I looked at this, Takashi Murakami. I saw this set and went, I don't really know Takashi Murakami, but I just have a feeling I should probably grab a box of these just in case, because I think we've seen, I know it kind of died down, but the Ben Baller stuff right at the get-go was really hot. And all of it timing of when this of the hobby and everything, of the peak interest and all that. But I think anytime you see these collabs, the Travis Scott one at Fanatics Fest, all those cards, and you saw how they did on the secondary market, these ones tend to do really well. I think it's the team up with Complex is interesting. Having it exclusively on their website, very interesting. But yeah, the set looks pretty cool. It's very unique. And there's a lot of exclusive stuff, that you can get. And a lot of these are going to be available at the Tokyo Series coming up in a few weeks.
And I believe the hobby version is tops.jp, so you have to be a resident in Japan to basically purchase those.
25 card set with autographs and parallels.
Also,
all Dodgers and Cubs.
I think they released
Japanese stars
today the Sapphire version of Chrome Football.
I believe it's Montgomery first, and then I think it will.
$4.75 a box.
It's a lot.
It's a lot.
It's a lot. But I mean, if Cheetozard can sell for $87,000,
Yeah,
You never know.
Yeah.
You
maybe
never know.
Maybe it wasn't enough.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe it wasn't enough.
Yeah.
People do love the Sapphire brand, though.
They do.
They look great. They always look great.
They do. They look great. I mean, I don't know what the auto checklist is. Hopefully, it's smaller than the Chrome version. Because there's like 90 rookies in the regular version. Maybe it's more condensed. We'll see. Also, John Cena went heel, and there's a Rock John Cena Travis Scott 101 up for Tops now. Which I'm sure it's like a lottery system, right? Where you buy a pack or buy a card, and you got a chance at this thing. Wrestling fanatics are saying this might be the best card of all time ever, with The Rock, John Cena, and Travis Scott on there. So
Is Travis Scott a wrestler?
Nope.
but he was in the ring for that.
Travis Scott always finding himself in the middle of these things.
like
And then, look at that. He's in a Fanatics thing.
I'm assuming he is somewhat part of WWE,
Well,
right?
WWE now
He was
is
in the ring.
a lot more closely to me, it's like it's just the Fanatics connection and the Michael Rubin connection, because we've seen Travis Scott. I've said it on this podcast multiple times. Is Travis? It's not a Fanatics event until Travis Scott arrives. Like
Fiend.
he shows up
Fiend.
everywhere. And this is just further the WWE Fanatics connection, which I think Fanatics Events is now the ones who puts on the WrestleMania Fan Fest. They did last year for the first time. They're doing it again this year. So I'm sure there's a bit of that connection as well. But it's undeniably an incredibly cool card for what was a huge, shocking moment for a lot of wrestling fans.
Yeah, I know. My ex was just blowing up about it. So, I was like, whoa, what happened?
It was huge. It was a huge deal.
John Cena's a bad guy now.
Kids were crying. Kids were in tears about this thing.
He basically beat up Cody Rhodes.
You could have literally asked me. You could have been like, was John Cena a good or a bad guy?
Yeah.
It would be a 50-50 for me. I'd have to flip a coin
Oh, yeah, it can't be.
and be like,
There's only two options.
Very
no, yeah, but I would not. I would
That's
not
fine.
know.
You didn't know, yeah.
I would not know. Good actor.
I think he's a very funny guy.
Good comedic actor.
Yeah.
I know a lot more about his acting career.
Oh, what was
than-
that movie he was in that was hilarious, dude? That's actually one of the better comedies.
There was a movie, Blockers.
I never watched it. It was good.
No, the one where he was where he was the
Yeah,
best
I did watch that
where
one.
he was the best friend, the fake best friend.
Oh yeah, that was
Ricky Stenicki.
Oh, I haven't seen
Ricky.
it.
Oh,
Stin-
God, it's
good. with Andrew Santino.
Yeah, and Zac Efron.
Zac
Zac
Efron.
Efron's in it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have not seen it
That's
yet.
a good one.
It's
That was one I was like, I'll check this out.
See,
Oh,
they
this could
keep
be
throwing
good.
these comedies on streaming.
But,
Put it in the
yeah.
theater. People go watch. People like to laugh.
Yeah,
altogether.
he's great. He's a great actor, great comedic actor. He was also in that Amy Schumer.
Yes.
Train
That was
wreck?
the first big one I remember where I was like, he's very funny.
Yeah, he's great.
Yeah.
As far as his wrestling career, I have no idea.
No idea.
No idea.
But yeah, very famously good guy. Now, in the last year of his career, he said he was going to retire from pro wrestling. Has made a shocking.
But
turn.
don't a lot of guys go back and forth of being a good guy and a bad guy?
Oh yeah, it's for him. It's the most shocking because his whole persona.
I know
is
Rock.
that
I know
he is-
Rock back in the day was like a bad guy.
Yeah,
But is Rock?
and now he's back to that.
He's
because
back
now
to
he
that.
comes
But
back and
at
he's like,
one
I'm
point,
the final boss.
One point, wasn't he a good guy?
Yes, he was also on the good. Yeah, he was a good guy. Now now that he's come back to wrestling.
Stone Cold's always been a good guy.
I mean,
When's the next WrestleMania?
it's in a month.
In Vegas.
So
in Vegas,
Cena,
right?
Cena
In
and
Vegas?
Rock will be doing something.
Oh yeah, this is all leading up to WrestleMania, where they're gonna have a huge event. Oh my God, The Rock, Cena, Cody Rhodes, they're all there. Travis
Vegas.
Scott's hanging out there too.
Vegas.
Yeah, maybe I'll try to go to that. Man.
Yeah, it's gonna be.
Is that Allegiant?
Yep, Allegiant, April 19th and 20th, I believe.
2 days?
They do it 2 nights now.
It's so good.
It's so good they have to do it twice.
Different shows though. It's not
It's
like
different,
they don't
yes.
they don't do the same show over again.
Yes, they will have. They have 2 championship matches at the end of each night. But yeah, they're two big nights.
April 19th and 20th?
Yep, April 19th, 20th. Yep.
Might have to try to get out there.
Celebrate Easter weekend or
April-
420.
April 20th
In Las Vegas.
Oh, come
Ooh,
on,
wow.
man.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, it is legal there now.
It is. It is.
Indeed.
Well, a product that's not great, might be an early candidate for worst product of the year is Topps Midnight Basketball.
Oh, that's my favorite.
It's tough, and we have
It's
a
up
lot.
there.
I
It's
shouldn't
up there.
trash it, but it's tough, man. It's it doesn't help. We're like the same as the guy with the Wemby jersey. We're like, Wemby's blood clot. I mean, yeah, but unlicensed Midnight Basketball, which when they released UFC Midnight, which was the first in the Midnight set, we did a Midnight release on it, which is why I thought they named the set Midnight. Right? Midnight releases at midnight. So this one came out on a Thursday. So I'm thinking, okay, cool. We're going to be ripping it, probably Fanatics Live. We're going to allow us to rip it Wednesday night, midnight, right? No. They're like, no, we didn't have any plans for that. So we're ripping it on Thursday, and it's just, I mean, at $300 a box, sticker autos, no city names on any of the cards. It's tough. I mean, I actually really like UFC Midnight. I thought this was going to be big. And it's just the subjects. Brandon Miller's out. It's just not their fault either. Wemby's obviously sidelined. It's just a lot of like who's who at that price point. It needs to be like $120 a box for it to be worth it. It's tough.
I think you could probably get away with a retail at like 150, 170 because it is 3 autographs. But there's nothing about the design that makes you want to chase anything. Like there's nothing like the autograph content. There's a lot of what you just said. Like who are these guys? And it's all sticker, and I understand why I get why it's sticker. But at that price point, being sticker, it should have been cheaper.
Yeah, and I mean they've paid a lot of money to Wemby. I get it. We gotta keep cranking them out. Plus, it's a 23-24 product still. You know, we've had a multiple 24-25 NBA releases from Panini at this point, and we're still doing the 23-24 with Fanatics and Topps.
This product could have not come out, and I think we would have been fine, right?
We would have been.
I don't think anybody was like, we need to make sure we get another 23-24 product on the books. I mean, we didn't feel that way. Obviously, like the powers that be, Fanatics felt that way.
And I hope this doesn't ruin the Midnight brand because I think it will do well. Like I'm actually just on Twitter, I was talking with somebody. I was like, dude, this would be really good for baseball. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
100%.
You know, the way they can make certain designs with baseball and have the patch autos, you know, and have the inserts, and obviously with the license, it'll look a lot better. So I'm hopeful that they don't have a bad taste in their mouth because of this. And I'm also interested to see Midnight Football, if there is one. I know that we've had Midnight Football inserts in composite, so maybe they won't come out with Midnight Football this year, but in the future. And let's make it a midnight release. I mean, that's the whole point of the name. It's almost like, you know, calling it like, I don't know, Break Me. And it's like, you can't, you know, it's like, Topps Break Me, but no, you're not going to be able to break me at midnight because we're not letting you because we're following release days. Anyways, that's here nor there. I just think that the do's and don'ts of unlicensed products, I think what we've seen from collectors so far is basketball just doesn't work. It's just, you can see in that picture that Cody just put up right there. You can see that the jersey for basketball just doesn't look good airbrushed. Football has a lot going on, and that's Caleb Williams in a USC or a practice, whatever that is. But if you look at the Topps Chrome examples, it's a little bit less noticeable. They do a good job. I mean, there's a lot more color going on in the jerseys and more action shots. Literally, basketball looks like it's like, is this their high school uniform, or is this, you know, Kmart special jersey? Or it just doesn't, like, basketball just doesn't look good unlicensed.
Yeah, it's been the toughest thing to get around, I think, with the basketball stuff. But remember we said with the Topps Chrome, especially the Wemby card, they were conscious about, like, we have to make sure we can mask the fact that this is airbrush.
Yeah, side profile.
Right, the little side profile. It's a great, and you know what? The card was doing, like, you still look at the singles market. Obviously, it's kind of come to a halt with the Topps Chrome stuff, but it was still doing really well. It was still selling well. The parallels and the autos were still selling really well because it was a good-looking picture that did all the right things to make sure to not call attention to the fact that it's not licensed.
I think with unlicensed, the way it can be successful is that you have to have a relatively small print run, and you have to over deliver on the autograph content.
Yep.
Leaf has done a great job of that with their unlicensed products over the years. where you open up a box and you get a top tier autograph almost in every single box.
Yeah.
This, they made a lot of it midnight, and you would open up a box and you would not get a top tier autograph because the autograph subjects is so big. So your top autograph in a $300 box would be a Derek Lively non-auto or non-numbered auto.
Yeah.
And nothing, not to take anything away from Derek Lively, but that is at a $300 box. That is a tough autograph. That is a tough main hit.
Yeah, I mean, you're looking at, and you know, not all boxes are going to be winners, and most of them aren't. But like, there should be something from an ROI standpoint. If it's a $290 box, you should be able to at least get like $100 back, right? Like $100? No, you're getting like $20 to $30 back on some of these.
And I think it's the biggest thing whenever, you know, I go on social media and I see either they're announcing, oh, this is what's coming out this week with tops in football or basketball, or just even just hearing from other customers. It's, man, that price is tough. Really, we're selling it for that much for unlicensed? Like, I think that's the biggest thing they can do is just take that price point down a little bit if it's going to be unlicensed. I think that's what a lot of collectors would say.
And honestly, if you're doing the math beforehand and you're like, well, in order for us to be profitable, we need it to sell for X amount of dollars, then right then and there go, well, maybe we shouldn't make it.
Yeah.
Maybe before we put the design in place and do this and do that, we shouldn't make the product.
Well, yeah, I mean, to their defense on that, I mean, this was probably planned out 7 months to a year ago, and you know, Wemby was the hottest thing. They probably just said, they probably were just like, all we need is Wemby. It doesn't even matter.
Sure.
You know?
And I could see that. It's like, okay, look, if you put Wemby in there, Wemby will basically sell the product. Oh, okay, Wemby got hurt.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
What do you do? I understand. Bad luck. Even with Wemby in there, I don't think the $300 price point I think is still too high.
Steep. Yeah.
Well,
So-
and you already have examples of his other products. You have the Mercury RPA selling for $1,000 now. You have the Finest. You have Topps Chrome. You have backwards. You go Bowman University stuff with his Metropolitans uniform. So it's like all of those rank a little higher than Midnight because Midnight's an unknown set. Like doesn't have a lineage to it. There's nothing in there necessarily that people are like, you know, I gotta chase the Starburst or, you know, I gotta get the blah blah blah. You know, so it's like, you know, it's like the last in the cog. It almost should have been the first in the cog.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, and look, they've proven that they can take some new designs and make it work. We've seen it. Cosmic Chrome, I think, became a very quick favorite for a lot of collectors for baseball. Now, you did attach that to a product where you can license it.
I forgot about Cosmic Chrome basketball too.
Right. Now, I guess
tough.
there you go. And there's the test of like, can that success translate to something like basketball? And well, we just saw it. It was a little tougher of a sell. Maybe not so much as Midnight. But
We're learning on the fly here on what I mean. At the end, it's not really going to matter because they're going to have the license. So, but for other manufacturers that are going to try to stay in this space and make unlicensed products, I hope they're taking notes with what type of content you need to put into a product for the collector to see value in.
Yeah, and I'm glad you brought up the Leaf example, which I'm sure the print run on Leaf was, you know, 1/20th of a Topps Midnight release. But, you know, you do Leaf, and it's always the last card, you know, whether they be top-loaded or in packs. Most of the time they're just top-loaded 4 cards, and you kind of work your way. You know, usually the last auto in a Leaf box is close to 30% of your value of your box at worst, right? Of course, you get the Messi 101 or the Pele 101, and then you're gonna double or triple your cost of your box. But it seems like they have their stuff stacked up to know that, like, we got to put one of these in each box. This one has to go in the bottom of the box. I don't think Topps really necessarily did that when they put this set out. They just kind of did it like, oh, we'll just do it like we normally do you may get a box that has a 101 Brandon Miller and a 101 Wemby. I don't think there's any rhyme or reason to how they packed it out.
Yeah, and I think it's been easy. It's the football stuff has also been such a difference. There's been such a stark difference, I feel like, versus basketball. Well, in large part, one, because I think we mentioned it, you can kind of get away with the not having the logos as much on football, but they also do have the advantage of they have so many more high profile exclusives for football. Where like
and it's a fantastic rookie class.
Yeah,
that we're still
they
in the
got
midst
lucky
of.
with that as well. Like, but it's just like the difference of watching Topps Chrome football breaks, where it is like these guys are popping up. Like we've seen Jaden Daniels, Drake May, Caleb Williams. These guys are popping up almost every single time. So yeah, again, it helps that they have the class, but at the same time, I think too, you're always going to have at least like we've seen in the last few years, Fanatics is going to scoop up those first 3, 4, 5 QBs, and they're going to be the things that anchor these football products until they get the license.
Yeah, I mean, and football has been significantly better, but you still have question marks there. Like we learned, Chrome's pretty high priced with Jaden Daniels, Bo Nix, Caleb Williams, all these first rookie autos on a pretty legendary brand. So a lot of football collectors want the Topps Chrome versions of these. But you're sitting there selling breaks, and you're like, okay, cool, we got the Chiefs. And they're like, all right, cool, then I can get a Patrick Mahomes. Like, no, there's no Patrick Mahomes in here at all. There's not one card, not even a base card. Or, all right, cool, Bills, I know I can get Keon Coleman in here, but, I'm looking for a nice Josh Allen. It's like, nope, Josh Allen's not in there either. So you still have a little bit of, like, collectors are like, who is in here? I mean, I know checklists are available, but it's like, without a full license for NFL, we're still having some suffering from that as well, and not being able to hit guys that would normally be in sets as just base, even if they didn't sign. You have the parallels, one-on-ones, superfractors of these, superstars. So,
yeah, I think that you mentioned like the Leaf model. They've been doing it a long time. They've been working without a license for a long, long time. I think that's the one. If you're gonna go like if you're figuring out how to navigate these waters without licenses, you can look at a lot of products there. Where, especially, I think we put up Trinity as an example, which I think is one of their better looking. Like, you got to make like the patches really stand out. You got to make sure, you got some of these high profile guys, and also provide something different. Like we've seen, I think some of the best stuff from them are the unique products, like the Pop Centuries and things like that, that provide something different. We looked today at like Panini's baseball, which is something that they've been trying to figure out. That prospect edition that they have out that's coming out this week. Looks interesting. Looks like, hey, you're getting, 5-6 autos per box. Like, you're going to get, it's bang for your buck. So it's everything you kind of touched on. Like, it's provide more autos, provide the bang for your buck, provide just and good looking stuff that pops.
And look at 3 and 2.
Yes.
It's been a good. It's
The
been a good
downtowns
release.
have been really nice. Those timeless moments look great. Like there was a Willie Mays timeless moment. I'm like, that just is a really cool card. I don't care if there's no license or not. That's an incredibly cool piece of cardboard. Very cool.
Yeah. So I mean, something to keep in mind, and I do want to give them credit for like. A lot of people will say, well, they don't do anything new. They're doing Chrome. They're doing Finest. Well, they are trying at least. So kudos to try to see if they can create another big brand, because Prism was created. There was no Prism before Panini came around. There was no Immaculate. There was no Flawless. There was National Treasures. There was Playoff National Treasures. But like they created some of their own brands, designs that are what people are chasing these days. So I do like the fact that Topps is in fact like trying new things. This one just didn't work.
I mean, and we've talked about it for years that, I mean, it's great that, again, they are making their own IP in that space. But just because a brand is successful in one category, one sport, doesn't mean it crosses over to every single category in sport, and it's going to be just as successful. We've talked about this with Panini over the years. Like, select football, great. Select basketball, great. Select baseball, they still make it. It always fell short.
Remember Mosaic baseball? It's terrible.
Mosaic baseball. I mean, so there's a lot of examples like this. And I guess you got to try. You got to see if it sticks. I think they know now, at least with unlicensed, it might be tough going forward with the Midnight brand. Now, when they get the license, it can be completely different.
Or
it's
I
definitely
think baseball.
worth,
I think baseball would be their best.
I think baseball I think it translates well to baseball. I think it translated well to UFC. I just don't know if it needed to translate into basketball unlicensed. You could have held on to it. Once you got the license, you could have tried midnight basketball with the license. I think it would have had more legs.
Yeah. It's just they were like, Wemby, we have Wemby now. We can't wait a year to use Wemby's rookie cards. That would be crazy, right? So, but lastly, guys, I wanted to mention if you want to get into a football break, we are going to be breaking, I believe there's Obsidian Football this week. There's Finest Football this week. So lots of breaks going down for football. Use code FieldGoal10. FieldGoal10 at Mojobreak.com for 10% off any of your football breaks and get in on that. We also have a big week with Macklin Celebrini's Young Guns are going to be coming out this week. I know they're the worst team in the league, but there's some hope around this young man who looks to be special. So
Jason Macklin. It's good. We're chasing a shark. Feels good.
Feels good. I mean,
Actually, is Will Smith in there too?
I'd have to double check the checklist, but
I think so.
Yep.
Ooh. And then
I mean, he's starting to put it together as well.
I know they have fallen pretty hard recently.
They're tough to watch. They have no problem blowing leads. Yeah. It seems like every time I turn it on, I'm all, Sharks have a 2-goal lead. This is awesome. Go back 5 minutes later, Sharks are down.
Very much a sign of a young team.
Yeah, the future's bright.
Yep.
We're probably a year or two away, but I am confident. Mark my words right now. In 3 years, we are going to be contending for a Stanley Cup.
Oh. Yeah, this almost feels like, remember when the Warriors drafted Steph and there was still like Monte Ellis and it was kind of like
Jarrett Jack
trying to figure out how the pieces fit. Yeah.
Yeah, and then you got, next year you got Bogut in there and, you started putting together a playoff run.
Iguodala comes on board.
Draymond
and Clay.
All it takes is that one guy to maybe bring some other guys over, so I think Macklin's the guy.
They're doing it the right. I mean, they're drafting well. They're getting out of contracts. They're getting some salary cap. They're going to be able to make moves. And it looks like they're probably going to have a lottery pick this year.
They will almost certainly have. They may once again have the best odds at the number one pick, and they once again have 2 first-round picks.
Yeah. So this
pretty good.
Yeah,
they're well positioned.
They're going. It's not probably going to be next year, but maybe the year after.
Yeah. 26, 27, watch out.
Watch out.
Sharks going to get a cup before 2030, maybe?
Oh, man.
Are
we going to get to 2030? There's still no Stanley Cup.
It's crazy.
Very realistic.
I really don't think we talk enough about Sharks on this podcast, but
not been a lot to talk about.
Well, we had a 20-year stretch where I feel that we almost made the playoffs every single year.
I think you can say from the first season they existed, they made the playoffs in all but 4 or 5 years, to like 2018.
And there was probably a 4 to 5 year stretch where they were the odds-on favorite to win the Stanley Cup.
Yep.
Now
a lot of heartbreaks.
They didn't get there. They didn't do it. They got there once, but they didn't win.
Sidney Crosby.
Well, the team that I don't think if you were to tell me that would have been the team to make it, I would have been surprised. Like at the time, it never felt like that was the team. There were teams there were better Sharks teams than that.
There was, and we were spoiled because I remember watching the year we won the President's Cup trophy.
Oh yeah,
and we got knocked out in the first round by the Ducks, I believe.
Yep.
You would watch a Sharks game, and it's like they were absolutely dominating their opponents. Like it wasn't even. I mean, they would just go out there and they'd put up. They'd win games 5-1, 5-2,
like basically
night in and night
their
out.
entire roster also played on like Olympic rosters. Like they were just stacked, absolutely stacked those years. Hopefully, get back to it. So yeah, Series 2 this week. It's gonna be fun.
All right, guys. Well, that is it for today's show. Make sure you guys follow us on Instagram and X at Mojobreak_com, as well as check out the shop, MojobreakShop.com. We're open 7 days a week here in the Santa Clara Bay Area, or you can order your boxes. Website just got a little bit of a little revamp, so it looks great. Go check it out, and we'll see you guys next week on The Hype. Peace.